It's with that fourth place that I think there's still the biggest question marks. I know everything's on a high with Arsenal right now. I would still lean Chelsea a little bit, but this is based on the fact that I think they're going to do something.
Yeah.
Based on the situation they're in right now at the minute, as we're recording this on August 4th, 2022, maybe Arsenal are slightly, and I do say slightly, ahead. I think for Chelsea, a lot is going to depend on, obviously on the signings, but also on what formation he plays and how he plays it. I don't take it as read that he's moving to a back three. We saw a lot of back four before.
Yeah.
This Sterling through the middle idea, nice idea if that's the way you go, but still an idea, right?
Yeah. Can you do that the whole season? Yeah.
I just think there's a lot of pressure on Tuchel, including the pressure he puts on himself.
Yeah.
Todd Bowley, maybe in the back of his mind, he looks at it and he says, well, it's the first year, learning curve. Maybe even it doesn't really hurt us too much as long as we finish top four.
Yeah.
If we're not super competitive straight away, because it's a transition year, we're finding our feet. There's rumors of Michael Edwards coming in.
Yes, I saw that as well. They need a sporting director anyway, as early as soon as possible.
It's funny. I generally don't know what Michael Edwards is going to. For those who don't know, have been living under a rock, Michael Edwards is the guy who spent, I think, 10 years at Liverpool. Is credited as kind of the genius who brought together the analytics and the recruitment and everything, and really was the key to Liverpool's success. Obviously, or one of the keys, obviously. Yeah. Sorry, Jurgen. Universally admired and so on. When he did write that letter about why he was moving on, there was a line in there, and I am paraphrasing here. He said, I spent 10 years, I don't want this to define my life. I see myself 10 years perhaps in a different career. And then I thought, what if he does something completely different next?
Yeah.
I thought that'd be kind of cool. Maybe he's wrestling with that. I don't know.
Yeah, maybe.
It seems to me, though, that with those links with Chelsea, I kind of think at this stage of the summer, they either get him straight away, or maybe he has a non-compete clause with Liverpool, which stops him from getting a job straight away. But if you don't get him straight away, you're better off staying on the sidelines, watching, and then taking over maybe in the spring with a view towards next season.
Although the January transfer window could also be very important if the first half of the season is not as good as you wanted it to be or expected to be, and maybe you need a sporting director in place, as soon as September, October to already prepare for January. I don't know. I think it's. I don't think Chelsea should be in this position anyway. Already, full stop. I know. There's been so many changes at the club, which obviously was not planned before. We all know the reasons and we're not going to go back on it. But for Chelsea to be in this position with pretty much Todd Boehly being the owner and also the sporting director, with Thomas Tuchel getting involved, but also preparing the season, all of that is crazy for a club like that. And that's also one of the reasons why Tuchel is worried. What they've only signed, I know Sterling and Koulibaly are two great players, but they still...
Karni Chukwuemeka.
And Karni Chukwuemeka, of course, who has the potential to become a great player, but is still a potential for now. But they're behind where they wanted to be at this stage of the summer anyway. So let's see what happens. But I'm worried for them. I'm also a bit worried for United, to be fair.
I knew this was going to come up.
True. No, but it's true. And that's why I think that right now Chelsea and United don't look maybe in a position as strong as Arsenal, who have had a really good preseason, made their new signings early. They fit exactly what they wanted for the structure of the team and the profile that they were looking for in terms of age, in terms of qualities, etc., etc. That's why I think that, they're a good shot for finishing fourth.
So I think one of the key differences between United season and Chelsea season is that if United finish sixth, but we see the style of playing, if the enthusiasm returns, if some of these young players make the grade, people like Jadon Sancho didn't become terrible players overnight, right? Maybe Ahmad turns into something. If you feel like you're heading in the right direction, then I think you can sell that to United fans and make them feel good about themselves. Ultimately, football's a big market. It's about winning trophies, and that's part of it. Ultimately, it's a big marketing exercise, right? Arsenal fans feel great about themselves, because of the way they finished the season and, you know, Tierney and this and Gabriel Jesus. But that is a skill too. Chelsea finished considerably higher, but they're now in this situation where you can't sell them on saying, oh, we're rebuilding. Look at all our kids, because, you know, ultimately it's Koulibaly, it's Jorginho, it's Conte, it's people who are not kids. It's Thiago Silva.
Thiago Silva,
So obviously you have younger players as well, but so I think in some ways that further makes things difficult. Sterling's not a kid either anymore.
No.
Sterling's been young for a long time. So I think that really ratchets up the pressure. So I think that's why it's a big season for Tuchel. But for United, even if they don't finish top 4, you can sell this season as a W if you hit certain targets. You don't think so?
But what are the targets then? If you don't finish top, if you finish 6, what's the target that you would have hit?
I think the target that you hit is if you play better football, you look like you're going in the right direction, you go on a cup run, you play the kids, you get that vibe back. I think it's easy to it's easy to forget how toxic the environment around United, you know, really has been.
Yeah, no, that's true. I don't think it's going to be an easy season for Ten Hag, and I think already we see with the Cristiano incident, and we'll talk about it a bit more after, that there's a lot of things to still sort out, and there's still a lot of issues there. I just think you also need to see a progression in terms of league finish and where you end up the season, whether you get 4th place, because they're not going to get above
Did they finish second under Solskjaer?
They finished second under Solskjaer, yeah.
You know, and
sometimes
and then 6 months later he's sacked. So I think it's more about that. You know, I often talk about why I think performance is often more important than results.
Thanks so much for watching ESPN on YouTube. And for more sports highlights and analysis, be sure to download the ESPN app. And for premium content and live streaming, subscribe to ESPN Plus.